Okay, B'ezrat Hashem Na'aseh v'natzeh Baruch Hu Yaseh v'yarviach. Welcome to a Tuesday night shiur. I'm sorry we're starting a little late. Before I always wait for you, Ben Amu. When I see you, I feel very happy.
Same with you, Rabbi. Same with you. When I see you every morning.
Before I start the shiur that I was planning to say, I want to give a little introduction. You know, yesterday was the yortzeit of the Chafetz Chaim, Rabbi Yisrael Meir. Rabbi Yisrael Meir Kegan. That was his last name. Not Kagan water, but Kegan. And he's known for Lashon Hara, watching your mouth, you know, yada yada, everyone knows that. But people don't know him of a tzaddik that he really was. To understand him, we will never understand him. But the only way to really tap into his energy is by looking at his kids and his grandkids. I went to yeshiva with one of his grandkids. Yeah, with one of his grandkids. He was a Zax. I went to yeshiva with him. His last name is called Zax. And you see from just from his grandkids, the hitnagud, the way they acted with such derech, such respect. But I came to talk to you about another grandkid that he had. You know, in New Jersey, in Lakewood, there's a yeshiva. It's called the Lakewood Yeshiva. That was established by the Lithuanian Jews. And Rav Aaron Kotler was the Rosh Yeshiva. And coming to the yeshiva, the newsman, the whole yeshiva hears that the Chafetz Chaim's grandson is joining the yeshiva. Now I don't think you understand. We're not Ashkenazim, so we don't understand. At least you're half, but at least we don't understand. For us, who the Chafetz Chaim was. For the Ashkenaz Jew, the Chafetz Chaim was like drinking water from a cup. Shh. Now, in the Shacharit starts in the normal yeshiva 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock yeshiva starts. Shacharit comes 7 o'clock. Now we're not talking about high school. It's not high school. We're talking about Beit Midrash. Already kollel guys are married. 7 o'clock you have to be in the Beit Midrash. You have to learn.
Rabbi, married men?
They start. They're all waiting. Is the grandson going to come? They start Shacharit. He walks in when? 7:45. Okay, you know, it happens. Maybe he got lost, he didn't know. Second day, they're coming, everyone's waiting. The Chafetz Chaim's grandson's going to be part of the minyan. Again, late. So the Mashgiach goes to the Rosh Yeshiva, and the Rosh Yeshiva goes to the Mashgiach and says, listen, what's going on? The Chafetz Chaim, well, we got some over here, fufu over here. I thought he's something big. So Rav Aaron said, give him another, let a week pass. You know, you don't choke the guy. He just came to yeshiva. You're already choking him. A week past, same thing. 7:45 he used to come in. After Shacharit. What is this? So Rav Aaron Kotler calls him to his office. He says, listen, Tzaddik, what's going on? He said, Rosh Yeshiva, you won't believe it. Every morning, I wake up at 6, have a nice coffee. 6:45, I'm ready to leave the house. I'm about to leave. And suddenly I see, while I'm leaving, there's a lady. And this lady, you know, I felt so bad for her. She has 7 kids. She's running around. So I stop and I help her. And by the time I finish helping her, it's already past Shacharit. And I'm doing this every single day. And Rav Aaron Kotler says, wow, you're helping. And he's trying to get into the spirit of the lecture, and he's saying, wow, you know, chazak ve'ematz. And Rav Aaron Kotler goes and says, who is this lady? Does she have a husband? And he goes and he turns to Rosh Yeshiva and he says, yes, that's my wife. How do you want me to leave to yeshiva at 7 o'clock when my wife is with 7 kids at home going crazy? Where's the chesed, the kindness we have to do for our own family? That we don't talk about. To do kindness for everyone in the world, we know how to do. To run to our friend to the other side of the world, to go help him, to do construction labor, but to what? To make a bottle at home for that, for your mother or for your wife? We don't know how to do that. Suddenly, you know what happens? We become handicapped. Do you see what happened? And Rav Aaron Kotler looks at the grandson of the Chafetz Chaim and he says, this is the grandchild of the Chafetz Chaim. Midot, characteristics, that's what matters. You can finish Shas, learn all the Torah, but if you don't have Midot, you don't have anything. Efes afasim, zero. You are a zero. We came into this world to work on our characteristics, to change our Midot from bad to better. That's why we're here. That's just a little bit about the Chafetz Chaim. Such a greatness, such a great man. Him we will not understand, but his grandkids we can see a little bit. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Don't ever forget that. Today, I don't know if you guys know, today is Chaf Hei Be'elul. Today the world was... Thank you. Today was when the world was created. Today is real Rosh Hashana. Not real, but today is the first Rosh Hashana. The world was mamash created today. Hashem created the light and darkness was today. It's a very big skula. You missed the first part of the skula is to go to the mikvah for the men.
I heard before 6.
Before 6 yesterday. To prepare for today.
Wow.
Shh.
I heard your brother say.
My son, I was waiting for my son to get home from school. I was waiting. My son's just 5 years old. I was waiting today for my son to get home from school. He got home right away. We ran to the mikveh. We got ready to go to prepare for such a holy day. My son is 5 years old. Yeah, and I went with him to the mikveh.
You don't go any age, right?
Shh, no. We'll talk about this stuff in a different time. You guys don't have to worry about this. And we got ready to accept the ha'ara, the special light that comes on this day, which I think you guys shouldn't take advantage. And today we're going to talk about how to prepare ourselves for Rosh Hashana. We only have 6 days. Not even. 5 days. 5 days before Yom Adin, before we get judged. You know, there was a tzaddik. He was not really a tzaddik, but after the story, you can understand why I call him a tzaddik. There was a man, his name was Rabbi Amnun. Now this Rabbi Amnun was a very big gvir. He used to make such business deals. Why? You would wish to make such a business deal in your life. Just one of his that he did. He was an Ashkenaz Jew. He lived in Lithuania. And the Goyim, the Christians, hated Jews that were successful. They hated it. Any Jew that was successful, they used to say, maybe you're really Christian. It can't be that you're successful. Now, this Amnun, he was so successful in his duties, in his business, that he already reached the bishop. He already reached the dukes. He already reached the high priest. And one day when he was doing business with them, the priest, back in the day, the priest, the head of the religious juries had a lot of power. Not like nowadays. They had power to kill you like this. And the high priest looked at this Jew and said, listen, maybe you convert. You know? You're such a successful man. It can't be that you're really not Christian. And he was so afraid because you're talking to such high-powered, statured people. He said, "Give me 3 days. Let me think about it."
The priest was scared.
The Jew. He was like, "Give me 3 days. Let me think about it." The Jew left the room where they did business. He's walking home. He said, "What did I do? I just made a doubt in our Torah." He felt so bad. He felt so hurt. He said, how can I do such a thing like that? 3 days passed. The poretz, the priest, writes a letter and says, Mr. Amnon, I'm waiting for you to come. Shh. I'm waiting for you. Mr. Amnon sends back. Mr. Amnon sends back a messenger and says, I'm not coming. And he sends a second messenger. And he says, make sure that the first messenger gets there, and when you get there, also tell him that I'm not coming. Now, every day was a one-day travel. The poret sent back another messenger, said, listen, you better come. I'm waiting for you. You said 3 days. Be a man of your word. And Amnon sends back in a letter, you should cut off my tongue for even saying such a thing. And he sends it back. And the poretz is the priest, he goes and he sends back a letter, he says, I need you here. Now, 3 times already, no joke. The priest wants you better get there. There's no questions. Amnon goes there, he's like, listen, I'm done. Amnon stands in front of the priest, he said, listen, I'm a Yehudi, I'm a Jew, I'm not going to change. He said, cut off my tongue. Here's my tongue, cut it off. Here, my tongue, I did something wrong with my tongue, I want you to cut it off. The Jew, the priest looked at him and said, what did your tongue do wrong? Your tongue actually said the words of truth that you want to think about it. He said, instead I'm going to cut your hands and your feet because they didn't come to me. You made me wait. They laid him down. They took his 10 fingers and toes, that's 20. And they asked him 20 times, do you want to convert? Now, the first time you think you're a man. Yeah, you don't know what pain is. No, they took a saw, not a knife, a saw. And they saw down one of his fingers. And they asked him, how about now? Do you want to convert? And he said, no. And he did this 20 times until they sawed off his foot. The priest put him back on a bed and sent him back to his house. This was a couple days before Rosh Hashana. He gets to shul on Rosh Hashana, this Jew, right before the Tikiyat Shofar. He goes to the teva, to the bima, he hits the table, and he said, I have something to say. Now everyone respected him, he was a very wealthy man, he gave a lot of tzedakah. And we read this on almost every single shul reads this. For sure if you're Ashkenazi. And in our shul, on Rosh Hashana, we don't daven in this room, we daven in the next door. We have over 400 or 500 people. In our shul, Baruch Hashem, for a couple of years, I was zochet to be the chazan for this specific prayer. And we read it. And today I want to read to you a little bit what he said. After he said this prayer, he dropped dead. He finished saying this prayer that he himself said from his own knowledge, and then he died. And I want to read you something a little bit about it. I'm not going to read you the whole thing. I'm just going to read a small part. He was looking at the kahal, to the Jewish people, and he said, it's Rosh Hashana. And Rosh Hashana, Hashem goes in like a farmer to a house, to a barn, and picks out which cows are the juiciest cows. Which cows is he going to kill this year? Who is he going to take? Who's going to live? Who's going to die? Hashem goes to his barn, he goes to the Klal Yisrael, and he says, today I'm decreeing that you're going to die. Today I'm decreeing that you're going to live. I'm decreeing that today you will be rich. You will succeed this year, you will not succeed this year. He goes into the house, and we are those sheep. Me and you, all of us here are those sheep. We are the ones getting judged on Rosh Hashana. And he goes and he says, you will live or you will die. But that's not all. You will die with water or you will die with fire. You will live either poor or you will live either rich. You will lose a loved one or you will gain a loved one. Just 3 days ago, 3 people died like this. Like this! Rosh Hashana is 4 or 5 days away. You know when that was decreed that they should die? Last Rosh Hashana. Last Rosh Hashana they were decreed if they were going to live or they were not going to live. And instead, what do we do when we go to shul? We talk Lashon Hara. Avak Lashon Hara. And then we say, Rabbanu Shalom, why is my ear so not good? Did you daven? Did you pray for yourself? Did you care for yourself? Did you want to make a difference? Don't complain. The keys are in your hands. You have the key. Hashem says, here's the key. Pray. Pray. And instead we say, listen, it's too long. Who wants to be in shul for 5 hours? You're getting judged for 365 days. Do you know what that is? 365 days you're getting judged in 2 days. How do we make a joke of Rosh Hashana? Explain to me. There was a man. There's a shul in Yerushalayim. It's called the Musayev Shul. It's one of the first shuls that were built. It was actually a Bukharian Jew that built it. And over there, there's always minyanim, always shiurim, always. There was a rabbi, I forgot his name right now, unfortunately. He went to the store over there to buy something before he was going to give the shiur. And what does he see over there? He sees a man, has a full line of store, and he's like this. I'm almost finished Tehillim. You got to give me 20 minutes until I finish Tehillim. I'm not doing no business. He finished the whole Tehillim. Finished the whole Tehillim. After he finished the Tehillim, the rabbi was so moved, you know. Where are these kind of Jews that put Hashem first and put their business aside? There are very few like that left. He was so moved, and he goes and he says, you know, you gave me chizuk, chazak ve'emach. You know, you just uplifted me. The elderly man, not elderly, 43 years old. He goes to the rabbi. He says, Rabbi, can you make me a favor? Yeah, I know you're going to give a shiur now in the Beit Knesset. Can you do it Lilu Nishmat for David ben Rina? The rabbi said, sure, I'll do it for David ben Rina. And the rabbi said he doesn't know why. The rabbi said he doesn't know why, and he asked the guy, who is this David ben Rina? He said, David ben Rina is my son. And he looked at him and he said, how old was he? He said he was 4 years old and he drowned to his death. What will we do to change that? Will we change it? Rosh Hashana is in 4 days. Do we want to die this year? Do we want to live? A 4-year-old kid died from drowning. Why do we make our life like a joke? Why do we not care about our life? You want to get hit by a car? How was it when you got pulled over today? You were shitting in your pants, no? You were shitting, mamash, size of bricks came out of you. Imagine Rosh Hashana, Hashem's looking at you. 365 days, He's judging you. He's judging you. You got pulled, almost pulled over by a cop. You were like this, like a tuki, like that. Imagine Hashem is looking at you and saying, Habibi, I'm going to judge you for your whole year. Are you going to make a difference? Or you're not going to make a difference? Everyone knows what they passed through this year. Every single one of us knows how our year was. How much would we change it? How much after we realize that, yeah, I did enjoy, but really wasn't really worth it? How much I'm going to have to do din ve'cheshbon for one stupid action? I'm going to tell you another story. There was a man. There was a man, his name was Rabbi Yitzhak Tuvia. He went through the Holocaust. Now, towards the end of the war, the British king wanted to be nice. What did he do? He took 1,000 little kids from the Germans, 1,000 Jewish kids. If you don't get a little goosebumps after this story, I don't know. We gotta dip you in the mikvah 1,000 times. So the king takes from the Germans 1,000 Jewish kids, little kids. After he saves them, he brings them from Germany, he brings them to London. Now the king wants to look like chashuv. No goy does something if he's not going to get kavod from it. No such thing. Now he wants to be honored. I saved 1,000 little kids. Wow. Hooray, hooray to me. Clap me. For me, you have to clap. Now before they spoke to the kids, you have to stand straight. You can't move. You're going in front of the king. Maza Yehudi. Yehudi azud kedusha. How you have to be brazen to do mitzvah. You have to be az. You have to be run after to do mitzvah. The kids are all standing there in line. One kid. No questions. No cheshbon. No nothing. He runs to the king. Now, the guards want to shoot him. We're about to kill the kid. The king said, stop. He's a little kid. What's he going to do to me? Stop. The kid goes to the king. And he said, King, Melech, Chazak Baruch, you saved us. What about my father? What about my mother? What about my brother? What about my sister? What about them? I'm going to be here all by myself. The king looked at the kid, and he said, Zachita, I'm saving your whole family. All of those 999 kids said, we wished we opened our mouth. We wished we said something. But we were too embarrassed. We said, how is the other person going to look at me if I'm going to right now get out of line? You guys have the opportunity on Rosh Hashana to open your mouth. Lifnei Melech Malchei Amlachim, the kings of all kings. You have your chance to open your mouth and to cry b'bakasha b'chiyah and say, please change my year. Make my life better. I want to be a good person. Because if you wouldn't be in the shul, you know what that means? You don't want to be a good person. Yeah, it's cool to look like a thug. You guys are not thugs. You guys all want to be better. Every single one of you. You have the chance this Rosh Hashana to make a difference. And the difference starts now. Starts today. Today's the first day of creation. You fix today, you're fixing all the Tuesdays of the year. You fix tomorrow, you fix all the Wednesdays of the year. We have a chance to make a difference in our own life. I'm giving you the key. I'm giving it to you. Take it. Take the key. Keep Shabbat this week. Keep it. It's not going to kill you. I promise to you. Turn off your phone. Turn it off. Put it away. Put all your e-cigs away. You don't need it. If I can do it, you can do it. I've been smoking way before you guys. Shabbat, Chagim, I don't touch it. It's not for me. Today's Yom HaMenucha. I don't touch it. The day of rest. Shabbat. It's not a big deal if you won't call your boyfriend or your girlfriend for one day. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen. Lahefech, she'll miss you more. Nothing's going to happen. You don't need this. Make a difference in your life. Make a difference, because at the end of the day, you're the only one that's going to answer for it. I have some sidurim that was donated. There was Gadaev Lev, someone that was very kind. These sidurim cost very expensive, actually. Very expensive. And I got it specifically. It's Hebrew and English. It's a Sephardi art scroll. I promised you last week. so you can come take. If anyone wants a Siddur, but
Is it English too?
shh. It's a Hebrew and English. I got it specifically. I have some more in the car. If anyone is going to make with a bli neder for a month, I'm not asking more, for 1 month, it's just for the holidays, I'm asking you to daven every single day one prayer. If it's shacharit, if it's mincha, or if it's arvit. I'm willing to give you this siddur. This siddur costs over $30. This is not a small siddur. I pray with this siddur now. I changed from what I used to pray with just to pray with this. And in school, in yeshiva, we go through this book. Because if a person doesn't know what he's praying, he's not praying. You have to know what you're saying. You have to know you're praying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and you're praying for yourself. You're praying for yourself. Anyone else? Anyone else? Give to the guy all the way in the back. Any girls? I promised you also, right? Yeah? Here. I have more in the car. I have more. The guy was Nadiv Lev, Baruch Hashem. He didn't ask. He said, how many? Tell me, name, number, and he donated. He's mamash person like this. You know, you can buy your Olam Haba in seconds. In seconds. You can buy it in seconds. Anyone that wants, that's going to say he's going to pray for 1 month straight, he's going to use the Siddur. He's going to use it back.
Thank you, Rob.
Okay,
Thank you, Rabbi.
before I finish, anyone else? Before I finish, what's the famous question? Okay, I heard it, Rabbi. I heard the lecture. Hakol tov yafeh, it's very nice. Now what? I want to change, but now what? What do I do to get to that change? You know, everyone in this room, every single person in this room has a certain grudge on somebody.
Yes.
Everyone. Your father, your mother, your sister, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your ex, your relative, someone. There's always that somebody, you know, don't tell me no. I live long enough to know this. To be a vatran, to be a person that's going to let it go, that's going to say, you know what? Okay, I was hurt. Okay. No. Am I going to die? I'm still living. To call before Rosh Hashana. To call them, not Yom Kippur. Don't wait for Yom Kippur. Don't be like those idiots that say, you know, last minute I'll change. Before Rosh Hashana, you pick up the phone and you say, Habibi, I don't know who was right or who was wrong. It's irrelevant. I'm asking Mechila. It's the hardest thing to do in the world. It is the hardest thing to be a vatran. It's so hard that I promise to you that if you're going to be mivater, Hashem is also going to be mivater. There is no reason why we should live next year. We did enough sins for us to die right now. None whatsoever. We don't deserve to live. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the vatran. HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgives us and He says another chance. He says another chance. And another chance. What's the difference between an adult and a child? A child rather be happy than be right. And an adult rather be right than be happy. We have to learn from children how to be more happy than to be right. With this last story, I'm going to finish. There was a rabbi, his name was the Bala Sulam. I heard the story yesterday from my brother. Shocked me. When I heard this, I had to leave the room in order to cry because I couldn't cry inside the room. I was too embarrassed. The Bala Sulam wrote those books, whole Pirush on the Zohar Kadosh. He was an Ashkenaz Rav, and right before World War I, he tells his wife, or World War II, we got to leave. Something bad's coming up. I'm moving to Eretz Israel. You're coming, you're not coming, have a nice day. I'm not staying to die. No problem. They packed their stuff and they left. Now he was a rabbi of thousands. He went to Israel. Who was there? A couple of Jews, a whole bunch of Muslims, a whole bunch of donkeys, some camels. Where'd he come? He said, listen, this is the land of our forefathers, I'm staying here. Every night, at 1 o'clock at night, he used to give a shiur on Kabbalah. He was a mikubal. He used to give a shiur on Kabbalah. Only 1 o'clock at night. Mikubal, someone that learns the secrets of the Torah. Not just learns it, but has his own pirushim, his own thoughts on it. That's a mikubal. True one, not one of these phony balonies. And he had a student that used to come. Now, to travel from the student's house to the rabbi was very dangerous. Very dangerous. It was an hour walk and it was very dangerous. And the student looks, one day comes to the rabbi and says, listen, Kvod Harav, my wife doesn't want me to come. You know, it's dangerous. You know, I don't know. The rabbi said, listen, Habibi, don't come. Don't come, I don't want you to come. Your wife is right. Stay at home. Stay at home, don't come to learn. You have to be at home at 1 o'clock at night. Be at home at 1 o'clock at night. The Talmud was about to leave, and the Rebbe looks at the student. He says, but promise to me one thing. If you would make this pshara every time before you sinned, you would never sin. Everyone has every single excuse in the world not to keep Torah and Mitzvot. Every single excuse we can make up. But when it comes to do one right thing, we don't care about it. But that's not the end of the story. His wife looks at him and he says, what are you doing? You have no more Talmidim. You have no more students. What are you doing? You came from a country that you had thousands of students. What do you have now? Less than the minyan? You have 5, 6, 7 students? What are you doing? And the rabbi looks at his wife and he says, you want to know something? Hashem has less students than I do. How many of us actually care? How many of us really want to have a different year? How many of us do misirut nefesh? How many of us? 0.5% of the Jewish population? 0.5% of the Jewish population? Let's be part of that 0.5%. Shana tova umtuka.